Alright, well, it's time to get the ball rolling, I guess. Alright, so I'm set up here on YouTube, but this is going to be a dual live stream. So right now I'm going to set myself up on Instagram, then we'll fully get started. How does that sound? Alright, just saw a funny Costa Studios post right now when I was going. Or I'm sorry, it's from Sarah. Just chilling at some of our favorite Six Flags parks apparently, and they're in the infield of Patriot at Worlds of Fun. All right, let me hop on to Instagram. Yep. Okay. Okay. All right, there we go. We got it all working. Let me make sure I write down the message. Feel free to leave I'll make sure. Yep. Any questions you may have about the merger or anything else going on. Also, if you want to. Alrighty, we are ready to go. Finally. So, there we go. We got some people joining now. So yeah, this is going to be a very fun, hopefully, live stream. So, this is the first time ever. I got two screens in front of me, so I'm going to be going back and forth right now. So, to everyone who's joining right now on Instagram, hello. We got some people joining. And to everyone who's going to be joining or watching later on YouTube, hello to you guys as well. We have a lot of people joining. Oh my god. All right. Hello, Hyper Thrills or Cam. We have Liam in here. We have Gabe and Amanda in here. We have the amazing Built to Thrill in here. Oh my god. We have so many people who want to join already. Hello. Alright, so the way I want to go about this is really leave it up to you guys. So if you are watching on Instagram, you'll be able to see that people are chatting and you can request to join. On YouTube, I have the microphone set up right here, so hopefully you'll be able to pick up on the audio, and it'll almost be like podcast style. So hopefully you all saw, well, actually, let's start with this. Hopefully you all heard the news today. Good lord. This is insane, this news today. So, I woke up, like, yesterday, I, of course, like everyone, saw all the rumors. Hold on, let me switch it on here. Hopefully, it's showing that now. Yep, it is. Okay. So, yesterday there were all the rumors, hello Alex, that there was going to be a merger between Six Flags and Cedar Fair, which is absolutely crazy just to even think about, let alone it actually happened. So, yeah, I woke up today, like, there were some rumblings that it would be announced before the earnings call today, so I look on my phone, and they announced it. It's actually happening. Holy crap. So, as you saw, I put out a full statement on YouTube talking about it. But on YouTube, on the YouTube page right now, I have, right now, the Six Flags corporate website, and they have a statement saying basically everything about this merger. And it's the same thing on the Cedar Fair page as well. I just have the Six Flags one open. But there are many talking points that I'm not going to go into right now. I'm sure you guys are going to bring it up as well. Hey, David. Yeah, so there's plenty of talking points that this article brings up about this whole thing. This is insane. Let me tell you, I've been a roller coaster enthusiast for nearly 10 years, This is one of the biggest news stories I've ever seen. That's saying a lot, especially if you are relatively new to this community. This is huge. I've never seen anything like this before. Oops, my bad. Now you know what I'm using on YouTube to live stream. Speaking of which, I'm going to be popping back and forth just to make sure I don't miss any YouTube comments as well. Like I mentioned before, this is a dual live stream, so feel free to watch it on YouTube or Instagram, which, yeah. I'm doing the dual thing because you have Six Flags and Cedar Fair, two separate companies that are joining together, and now I'm doing a live stream we're joining together. But anyway, oops. I did not think about that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, on YouTube, you guys saw where I'm streaming. Okay, I'm going to switch it back. There we go. I switched it back, so now you're just seeing my face here on YouTube. And we're just going to get started now with with talking to you guys. So I'm just going to, well, let me see any comments first that you guys left. I got on YouTube, a fart. A few hellos. Hello, everyone. Oh, a konnichiwa. All right, so we'll start reading some comments here on Instagram. Have no idea how to feel about this at all. Me neither. Me neither. I never would have expected this to actually happen. Never in a million years. And this has been brought up before. Like, I remember in 2019, Six Flags was trying to buy Cedar Fair, and they turned it down. Everyone's just like, oh, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Costa Studios even made a video. It's like, this is never going to happen in a million years. Now, Merger, on the other hand, and if you look at the details, it's kind of more like Cedar Fair is taking control of Six Flags, but then they're taking the name. I don't know. God. Yeah, I feel you. I have no idea how to feel about this. This could either be fantastic or, be the worst thing in the world. Okay, either everyone's mind is blown or very worried. That's exactly what I said on Threads today. So, if you don't follow me on Threads, I'm not sure if I ever posted that on YouTube, but I'm on Threads now. On Threads, I usually do like a few quippy things, and then also, typically I'll do photos of myself. On Instagram, I'll do like just roller coasters. But if you want to see pictures of me, go on Threads. Obviously, to everyone on Instagram, if you want to see longer form content, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube account. I'm going to be starting some videos back up again, so that's awesome. To everyone on YouTube, if you don't follow me on Instagram, feel free to follow me on there. I post reels, I post photos, you name it. I'm very active on Instagram. That's probably the best way to get in contact with me if you haven't already. But feel free to go on Instagram and follow me there. All right, let's keep going. So we got a lot of activity going on. So, all right. So will they add hydraulic launch coasters? And should I get a tattoo of King Dakar since it's dying? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully King Dakar will stay the same. I know we talked about that a bit earlier. Yeah, so with Cedar Fair coming in, there's the fear that they're going to change King Dakar into King Dakar 2 or something like that. I think King Dakar is safe only because it's always been the more reliable attraction. But yeah, that's something to think about for sure. Go to sleep on that one. Okay, yeah, this is a good point. They're using the Six Flags name probably because it's more recognizable to the public. Yes, that is the reason why, probably. They didn't say that officially, but I'm pretty sure that's the general idea. I mean, you talk to, let's say, my parents, who aren't enthusiasts at all. If you say Six Flags, they'll immediately know what that is. If you say Cedar Fair, they're going to be like, what's that? And even to some of my other friends, like, I'll have to explain what Cedar Fair is. So, yeah, definitely good, like, corporate level, they're switching to just the Six Flags name. Now, park name is a different story. That might get a bit muddled, and I'm not sure really what they're going to do. they did say like, oh, they're probably gonna maintain like the park names and everything, but that doesn't mean like, oh, it could be a subtitle. It could be Cedar Point, a Six Flags park. That's what they did at that's what they do at Loran currently, I believe. That's what they used to do at Six Flags Great Escape, and now it's Six Flags Great Escape. Um, Frontier City still does the I think the Six Flags Park. I could be wrong. Let me know if I am in the comments. But I think Frontier City does like the tagline. So I'm curious if that's how it's gonna be, or it's it's gonna stay Dorney Park or Worlds of Fun. God. All right. Let's keep going. Aha. Yes. Perhaps it would be a good time to bring back a certain elderly man. Please. Please do it. I'm begging you. Alright. We did get a YouTube comment. Hi, I'm blown away and worried about how the pass system's going to look like. Alright, I'm gonna... This is a good point to bring up both tickets as well as like Flash Pass and Fastlane. So, first let's start with Season Pass. I think this is actually going to be one of the bigger benefits of the merger. Just because now it's all under one umbrella, and it would theoretically be like one pass for all the parks. Now, it would be more expensive. That's a no-brainer. You're getting like double the parks that you used to. I wouldn't be surprised if it's even like double the price of what you'd be paying at like Six Flags or something like that. Now, price is going to be interesting. I'm not sure where they're going to end up for price point. I know I was in my mind. I was thinking like, oh, what if you had like a $500 pass, which sounds expensive. But like, think of how many parks you're getting. Then you have to take into account like, oh, like how often are these people going to like so many parks across America? You have crazy coaster enthusiasts like myself and some of the people in chat right now that are willing to do these road trips. But then you just have the people who go to one park. So, I mean, I know Cedar Fair is changing the pass system right now. They're probably going to change it again come 2025. So that'll be interesting to see. And then also the Fast Pass system. That's also interesting. And we'll see if they go maybe all Flash Pass, all Fast Lane. Maybe they'll keep it to each of the parks where they're using the same system as before. So yeah, that's going to be super interesting. Hello, Michael. Hello, Dylan. Alright, it's possible that the new Six Flags will keep the Cedar Fair parks their current name. Yeah, I think that's most likely going to be the case. But then you got to think like, oh, wait a minute, what are then the Six Flags parks going to be called? Because you have some parks like Great Adventure, Magic Mountain. Those names could work well on their own if they needed to and have that like a Six Flags park subtitle. But then you have parks like Six Flags America. They're not just going to name that park America. I mean, they could return to Adventure World. That would be very interesting to see. And then I know some people on Instagram too were like putting in the Cedar Fair flag for the eyes. So like Magic Mountain as the flag being an eye. Alright, we'll spend a few more minutes on chat and then we'll go one-on-one with people for a few minutes talking about everything. And like I said, for the people who are watching on YouTube, you'll get an audio version of the people who are going to be joining on Instagram. But if you want to see their face or whatever, feel free to watch on Instagram. Again, I'm doing the dual thing so that everyone can watch this on both of my main platforms. But let me see. Actually, you know what? I'm going to switch over. There you go now. So you can see the press release again. Okay. I could see them doing different kinds of passes, like a pass specifically for Six Flags parks, pass for Cedar Fair parks, and a pass for both. That would be interesting. I'll be honest. I'm not sure if they go that approach, though, because that would be really weird. Like, especially in the areas where you have like parks so close to one another. Like, let's say you live in like close to one another. Like, let's say you live in like Northern Virginia, where you're like in between Six Flags America and King's Dominion. You could go to one park, but you can't go to the other. Which, I mean, that's how it works now. But like, under this umbrella of leadership, I don't know. Uh, Probably between 300 to 400, or offer a regional pass. Regional pass would be great. Yeah, that's a good idea. The regional pass. Like, what if you. This is really just a hypothetical for, I guess, all chains, really. But, like, let's say Ohio. You have the two Cedar Fair parks. What if you had a pass that just worked at Kings Island and Cedar Point? That would be really cool. But then you can also, like, the Eastern PA Regional Pass, where you have access to Dorney Park and Great Adventure. That would be interesting. Maybe throw in New England there. Uh, yeah, this that's the best way to describe it. Honestly, this merger is super weird. It's so hard to really digest what's going on. All right, I think I've been talking long enough. Again, to the people who are on YouTube, hopefully you'll be able to listen to what's going on. Hold on, let me wrap my wire around. There we go. So I'm putting the microphone close to my phone where I'm doing Instagram, and hopefully you'll be able to hear, and it's not an echo. All right. Real quick. Maybe a regional pass with the option to add on specific parks. That's an idea. Like, what if you could select, oh, I want access to this park, this park, this park, this park. That way you could, like, design road trips around it. Let's say, oh, I'm doing a New England road trip this year. We're going to Six Flags New England, and then we're going to go to Darien Lake, Canada's Wonderland, Cedar Point. You, like, select those parks. Like, you know for a fact you're going to those places. That would be really interesting, wouldn't it, now? And then maybe, like, you hit a certain quota of parks and you get a discount. That would be interesting. But then, like, yeah, I don't know. That's weird. All right, let's get someone on here. We got a lot of people on Instagram who are willing to join, which I'm super happy about. I'm just gonna go in order of at least the order of what's on my screen. So we're also gonna do it one-on-one style for the people on Instagram. So I just want to hear directly from everybody. And I think a lot of people, maybe we'll do it at the end, big group, but I want to make sure everyone is heard on here and everyone gets their chance to shine. Oh, hey, Coaster Hour. How you doing? All right, so I think the first person who requested to join is Cam from Hyper Thrills, close friend of mine, so here we go. You are free to join whenever, Cam. I think. Oh, maybe I didn't hit it. There we go.
Oh, hello.
How you doing?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hopefully,
Alright, cool.
Hopefully it's fine on YouTube, but dude, this is insane. I've been thinking about it all day.
Move for both chains and the amusement industry as a whole. Not, Cedar Fair, Six Flags, but you also gotta think like Hershey.
Yeah, like
Hershens, SeaWorlds, all these parks are probably looking at like that just happens.
Eastern Pennsylvania is like under like pretty much one chain now, and then there's Hershey, which you could argue is like its own separate conglomerate.
Yeah, Hershey is like kind of like its own thing, but you can't forget about Waldemar either. I mean, they're like
Waldemar. I'm sure they're very nervous about this, honestly.
So,
yeah, this is insane. But I know you were throwing out a bunch of things earlier today, just us talking. But
yeah, I've kind of also come to a point where like working at a Six Flags park, like how different it might be in the next coming years.
Yes.
Whether you're starting out now or starting out in a few years, it might be a little bit different than what it is today.
Yeah, for those who don't know on YouTube, Cam here is a ride operator at Six Flags Great Adventure. He's done all sorts of stuff. He's done Nitro. He's done Jersey Devil. What else have you done?
I've done League, Wonder
Justice
Woman,
League.
Cyborg.
Yeah, that whole DC area,
Mostly
Nitro.
Nitro. Nitro is where I work the most.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. You could say now you possibly work for Cedar Fair Park.
Technically, if you want to be technical, I could be working for a Cedar Fair Park right now.
It's insane.
But still, like, their training is completely different over there. Like how they run things. They have like an international standard, so it could be a little bit different of how the rides are run at Six Flags parks in the next few years. Even next year, who knows?
Yeah, you mentioned a good point earlier about what was it? The ride maintenance too. That Six Flags and Cedar Fair both use very different like ways of maintaining their rides.
Yeah.
And I know you have experience with that, but like I'm curious like how let's say the Cedar Fair method would work at Great Adventure, which I feel like there's sometimes on that line of like should a ride be open?
Here. Great Adventure's maintenance team is all union.
Okay,
so
I did not know that.
How they run things, it might be a little bit different than most other Six Flags parks. But just like for example, at like when I went to Kings Island, I don't think I saw Diamondback or Orion go down once.
Yeah.
And I know Nitro is, 10 years older than Diamondback, almost 20 years older than Orion, but it shouldn't break down as much as it should, especially for a B&M.
Yeah.
That just kind of like shows you how different the maintenance is between the two. So even just like general park maintenance, like whether the Cedar Fair standards are going to stay there or not, I mean, who really knows?
Yeah, it's really weird, really interesting to think about. I mean, like, the way, I know David brought up earlier, the way, like, Cedar Fair was so quick. I mean, there was the accident, too, but, like, Cedar Fair was so quick to, like, get rid of Top Thrill Dragster after the accident. And then you think of King Ka now, how they're going to deal with that. I mean, I think King Ka is in a whole different category. I think it's safe.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I don't think it's like as obviously it's had a lot more uptime than Top Thrill Dragster ever has. But also with the thing too, we've seen with Accelerator.
Yeah.
Like that thing has not been yes, it's all testing today, but it has not opened in over a year. And then King Ka. Well, King Ka is a different story, but if they really decide to pull the plug on it, I wouldn't be surprised.
Hopefully not. You get David would cry.
I wouldn't really expect any change this year. I would expect it to kind of be like when, like, Cedar Fair took over the Paramount Parks. There wasn't really any change at first year. Probably 2025 will be like where all the change happens.
I'm just quickly reading in case anyone brings up something else interesting, but let's see. Yeah, this merger is something totally something. Carrick said, "Yeah, this merger was not something I expected to actually happen. Never in a million years."
It's just funny because like last year, SeaWorld tried to buy them, and then SeaWorld just like they got politely declined by Cedar Fair.
And then 2019, you had Six Flags trying to buy Cedar Fair. Now I think it is a different situation though that they're merging, which it's not like a buyout per se, but like it's crazy. Both sides agreed to join each other.
And that's the funny thing too is that like and it seems like that Cedar Fair is mainly taking this operation.
Yes.
Like,
so I think
Six Flags just kind of. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
It seems like Six Flags just kind of like taking a step back and letting Cedar Fair do their thing. I think it's smart of Cedar Fair to like take the Six Flags name only because how many people actually know what Cedar Fair is as a company. Like how many people actually know what Hershey Entertainment is? They just know Dollywood and Silver Dollar City.
I do like that they took the so even though Six Flags, if you don't know the stock market, Six Flags' code, I'm calling it code. I'm not sure what it's actually called. I'm not a business major.
I know what you mean.
But they have the term six, and then Cedar Fair has fun, which is very great. And even though they're rebranding to Six Flags, they're taking the term fun.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's mostly gonna be like, from what I could tell from their conference call and the PowerPoint they point out, which I believe the PowerPoint's on both websites if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was trying to find that earlier, and I could not find it. It's a really good, like, I know Colin from Hollywood Studios, he made a video talking about the whole situation today. He had a PowerPoint, and I'm not sure. I'm gonna see if I can find it right now, but
But it's like they're gonna take best from both companies.
yeah,
Like, honestly, every time I go to a Cedar Fair park, like, I always see that they're clean. They are, like, everything's well maintained. Everything pops out of your eyes. It's not advertisements just, blasting in your face, or random advertisements blasting in your face. But, I kind of hope to see that with Six Flags. I know we saw a lot of memes today of, like, Top Thrill 2 with the Takis thing on the trains. Or
I forget. I'm sorry, whoever posted it. They put a picture of Top Thrill 2, and they called it Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast coming to Six Flags Sandusky.
Did you see the Magnum one with like Joker, like
Yes,
chaos?
I did.
It looks so horrible. Like,
And then Coaster Bound, which amazing Instagram account. If you don't follow it, he took a clip from the Looney Tunes show. He's like, "Do we?
oh yeah, I saw that.
Do we go through with the announcement today?" Oh, it was fantastic.
I think the best one I saw was like somebody took like Snoopy and they put it over like the Superman the Ride logo and called it like Snooperman the Ride.
I know our friend Costa Guy 95, who he's been in some of my YouTube videos. His profile picture is Snoopy, and he was going wild today, coming up with like funny Six Flags Snoopy proposals.
Yeah, I don't know how far extent they're gonna go with like the branding and everything, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right, yeah.
So thank you for joining.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
No problem. I'll probably talk to you at some point within the next,
All right.
maybe even tomorrow on our chat. Alrighty.
Yeah.
See
All right,
ya.
have a good one, John.
Good night.
Good night.
Alright.
Hold on. How do I get out of this?
Good night.
Oh, wait. Up there we go. All right.
There you go. See you. Alrighty. So let me quickly look through chats in case I missed anything. And then we'll go on to our next person. I don't think I missed anything. So to people watching on YouTube, hopefully you could hear the audio and everything. If it's like really quiet on that side, let me know. But we're gonna move on to our next person here on Instagram. Let's see. Alright, next person on my list is someone we were actually talking about earlier. Mr. Stormrunner Sam himself, David. Alright. So, let's see. Hopefully. There you go. You should have access to join now, hopefully. Yeah.
Hello, Sean.
How you doing, David? Long time no see.
I know.
You got the room in orange for KingdomCon, I presume.
Yes. And I have to have the coaster wall behind me, absolutely.
Oh, God. What?
Let's get to the
What
point.
a day.
This is...
I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, obviously, I'm not really that much of a Six Flags or Cedar Fair person. Everyone knows me as the Hershey Park kid. So, waking up this morning, it was interesting. I woke up, saw this, and was like, "Oh, wow, this is pretty interesting."
That's how I was too.
Then I realized, I'm like, wait, Cedar Fair, they have a tendency to, if there is a ride that like has mechanical problems or that they have to spend money on, they'd like rip it out instantly. And everyone, I've seen like a few people like text me and they're like, "Hey, I know you love Kingda Ka, and I'm like, I know that too. So I'm worried. I'm very worried for the foreseeable future. Because I know that Hershey, like, does a good job with keeping up Stormrunner. Like, I know the ins and outs of what they've done. Like, they've told me. But I'm not sure if Six Flags has done the same with Ka. But
Probably
with the
not.
new management, it's only a matter of time until they're like, hey, we're pulling the plug. And I'm a little spooked. But, like, I feel like it's going to be safe for right now. But we just have to wait and see.
Here, I'm going to see if I can angle this up a bit so you can see more of my face. But I will say I do think Hershey does take care of their Intimate Accelerator better than Great Adventure does. I hope that's true from what I've heard from you. But I know they timed it again, thank God.
Oh, yes, well,
in case you...
yes and no, they timed it correctly.
It's still a bit off?
No, like, it's correct now, but it's only correct because they're only using one side, so it doesn't have to have a delay and wait for, like, a switch or something. So that was only timed perfectly for the Dark Knights, really. Well, let's hope that they can fix it during the off-season. Yeah,
bring it back for 2024. I missed it, unfortunately, just because of my car. Which, that's a whole story if you're watching this on YouTube and have no idea what I'm talking about. But, yeah, I think you do bring up a good point about, like, Cedar Fair, how quick they are sometimes to close attractions based on maintenance. I know that's something we're kind of seeing Six Flags do with, like, the Parachute Tower at Great Adventure. We're seeing that, I mean, Great America closed rides, but I think those are for a little bit of a different reason.
Yeah,
you have a pendulum that's very similar to the new one they're getting, and then just a ride no one cares about, a super loop.
Yeah, no one really. It wasn't, when I went there, it wasn't even open. So I was like, okay.
I remember, like, there was zero fanfare about El Diablo leaving Great Adventure when that happened. I remember, like, I heard just from some random enthusiast, they're like, oh, El Diablo is randomly going to be closing. Got my one and only ride on it, and then it was gone next year.
To be honest, I didn't even know El Diablo existed. Like, I was a Thuzy back then, like, a small baby Thuzy, and I loved Six Flags just because of Ka, and I didn't even know that El Diablo was there, and it just disappeared, because it just up and went. Yeah. It just left.
And there still hasn't been replaced. But, yeah, I do think that's a good point. Yeah, Kingda Ka is going to be an interesting one to see, especially. I think that's one of the more interesting coasters. Also, I mean, El Toro, too, that's a similar thing, but I think just Cedar Fair's history with the Intamin accelerators is going to be really, really interesting to see. Like the Great Adventure...
They only have two.
Yeah, the Great Adventure B&Ms will probably be fine since they love B&M. Even like the RMC coasters, which is interesting because Cedar Fair, they built those three, I'm sorry. They built those three, and then they did not have a good relationship, I think, with RMC. Six Flags has a great relationship with them. So, like, other manufacturers, you have Gerstlauer, which Six Flags is not a big fan of.
Six Flags not... Like, actually, some of the rides that Six Flags is not a fan of, it's like Mach, Gerstlauer, really any other company that is, like, in Europe besides Intamin and B&M.
When was the last time Six Flags built a GCI? I mean, you could look at it that way, too. GCI, Cedar Fair, they've been best friends for the 2010s. Mystic Timbers, you have, Zambezi Zinger is kind of a mix.
True, yeah.
I'm not even sure, like, how well they think that ride went. I hear mixed things.
I've heard mixed things. Hopefully I'll ride it soon.
Yeah. One of these days I'll get back. I haven't even been. Why did I say that?
I will only get out there
I'll go to Worlds of
because
Fun
I
one
will
day.
go ride ride Matugani. I consider all the accelerators my kids, so I choose to go visit everyone I do. So I will just, you know what? If I'm out there, I will visit Worlds of Fun.
Yeah, Worlds of Fun, Lost Island. Lost Island is very high on my bucket list. I want to get there so bad. Volcano looks great. Matsugani looks great. I want to ride like one of those. I forget what they're called, but it's like where you flip it. I know there's one going to Epic Universe. Oh God, I
don't know what they're
cannot
called.
remember. Anyone in chat, if you know the name, they have one at Nickelodeon Universe in Mall of America. Someone that here is gonna help me with that.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at some chats. There were a lot that came in when we were talking. Okay, let's see. Sponsors on Millennium Force? Hell no.
No.
And if they dare change that song.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, what you and Cam were talking about, like sponsors on stuff, it's going to be awful if they do that again.
Well, I think, again, it's Cedar Fair mainly, like, taking over Six Flags. So, I don't know. I know I was talking with Michael about this. Like, it's a different situation that, like, Cedar Fair seems to be a little more in control than Six Flags. If it was the opposite, I think I'd be a lot more worried.
Oh yeah.
You have issues with, like,
oh, no.
I think you have definitely issues with, like, some of the Cedar Fair practices. But I think Six Flags owning more Cedar Fair.
I would choose Cedar Fair over Six Flags any day. I mean, I grew up going to the Cedar Fair Park as a child, Kings Island, and I just got, like, exposed to Six Flags, like, recently, like, back in 2012, and I have to say, like, I love Cedar Fair more, because it has a more nice atmosphere.
That's hard for me to choose, honestly. I see pros and cons for both, but I will say Cedar Fair has always been nicer looking parks. That is no question. I feel like I'm going to the dump sometimes when I go to Great Adventure. I'm sorry, Cam.
No offense, Cam. But, like, I mean, the only times I actually go to Great Adventure, I am, well, only at one ride for the day. Yeah.
Michael brought up a very interesting point that I'm not sure if I agree with. Ka's draw for Great Adventure is much more than Dragster's draw for Cedar Point.
I agree on that.
You do agree.
Because...
I mean, tallest in the world. There's that.
Tallest in the world, really... And Dragster at Cedar Point, it was like, oh, it's the big thing, but there were other coasters there that were groundbreaking that everyone was drawn to as well.
Mm-hmm.
Where people were like, oh, yes, there's... Because when you talk about Cedar Point, and, like, I've had this experience where I've talked about Cedar Point to, like, random people, like, that don't know about... Well, not random people. My friends that don't know about roller coaster stuff, and they would start talking, like, oh, they've been to Cedar Point before. And they would say rides like Val Raven and Maverick and Steel Vengeance, they would not talk about Top Thrill Dragster. Like, I'd mention Top Thrill Dragster and be like, oh, yeah, that's there too, and all that. But, like, Michael said, like, Ka is the main draw for Great Adventure because, yeah, it's the big 1-2 punch that is, like, right there. And it's really one of the most outstanding rides there because if you just bring a random person to Six Flags, that's the first thing they see, and they're like, oh my gosh. But, like, if you bring a random person to Cedar Point, like, yeah, they see Top Thrill Dragster, but they see everything else there too, and they're like, oh my gosh, wow. Like, yeah.
I mean, I'm really curious to see how that big spike looks next year, too.
Same.
For Top Thrill 2.
Whoever put Gemini is changed to Twix left and right. No. I love Gemini with my heart, and I will.
That would be fantastic.
Like
that. Hold on. Who put that? I'm going way down. I'm kind of behind. Okay, top drag coasters. That is fantastic.
That's hilarious.
Okay. I did see another. Oh well, this is Cam. Cam said Six Flags did buy the Ultra Surf, so they did buy something from Mach. Oh no, that's Intamin. Wait, Intamin. I'm sorry.
That's an Intamin surf.
Intamin. Yeah, never mind.
I mean, so if Six Flags did buy the Intamin, then maybe Cedar Fair will be like, ooh,
Please.
Intamin and Cedar Fair again,
Please do it.
I
There's
hope.
there's always that rumor. It was brought up. I still say it's a rumor brought up by El Toro Ryan that the Cedar Fair executives rode Velocicoaster and thought it was great. It's just a rumor. But until they start
But
building
it's a
stuff from
very,
instant.
very convincing rumor from a very good source.
Ooh, Mr. El Toro Ryan, engineer. I'm not shitting on El Toro Ryan, by the way.
Hold on. Alex said a good question.
He's great.
For future Six Flags coasters, do you think they will still go for the DC theme or some of them? That is a good question.
That is a good question.
I know I was joking earlier. Like, it was me and Cam. We were joking about the Cedar Fair parks. Like, their inverts getting rethemed to Batman the Ride. We were, like, joking about it. And now, thinking about it, who knows? Maybe they will go with a DC theme, which is probably, they might. But it's possible that they could think of a different theme themselves.
I think you could think about it two ways. Let's first look at the Cedar Fair parks. They could start getting DC attractions, which is insane to think about.
No.
So I think that could be seen as a more of a negative, I think, towards the Cedar Fair chain, since obviously, like, Six Flags people are kind of getting sick of all the DC stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's a big pro for Six Flags having the Cedar Fair design team start looking at sections of their park.
That's what I was going to think. Because I'm like, hey, there's, like, parts of Six Flags parks that need a definite makeover. And the Cedar Fair creative team can definitely just, like,
they're great.
waltz in there and just immediately switch it up and make it so fresh and so nice.
I mean, Cedar Fair, I'm sorry, Six Flags, their design teams are good too, but not to the extent of Cedar Fair. Cedar Fair, earlier this year, I was at Carowinds. The amount of theming that Copperhead Strike has is insane. And it has the best queue, I think, for any Cedar Fair coaster that I've been on. Alright, let's read a few more comments and then we might switch out, if that's okay with you.
Oh, yes. I think I'm taking too much time.
Furious Baco's waiting for you, David. He's our split custody child. Michael said that. Boo Blaster gets rethemed back to Scooby-Doo because of Warner Brothers. That could happen.
Well.
Or you could see Justice League getting themed to Boo Blasters.
Oh, heavens no. No, that'd be awful.
I mean, or Boo Blasters becoming Justice League Battle for Metropolis.
Boo Blasters, Battle for Boopolis.
Okay, let's see. Remember the flood at Great Adventure? Yeah. That's a very specific story between me and Alex. Okay, yeah, how will this affect the naming of the Ultra Cert? It's not.
No, it won't. It's already doing it right now. It's no effect at all. It's already done.
Cedar Flags should get the rights to SpongeBob. I don't think that's happening as long as Nickelodeon Universe exists.
That's correct.
However, I will say there's that SpongeBob Dark Ride going to Adventure Dome. So, don't know. Could happen. We could get SpongeBob 4D back at Great Adventure. or Right Stuff. That would be even better. Okay. All right. I think it's time we switch out.
I think my time has come.
Thank you so much, David, for joining this live stream.
No problem. It was an honor.
You have a good night, sir.
You as well. least. I don't know how to get out of this.
Let's see. I'm not sure. Can I kick?
I will see you later, Sean. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Have a good night.
You as well.
All right. Well, he leaves. We're gonna be reading a few more comments and then moving on to our next person. This is gonna be a long live stream, guys. Thank you all so much for joining. By the way, I know it was a very last minute thing, especially to do dual live streams. So again, if you are watching on Instagram, I'm also on YouTube. YouTube, I'm on Instagram, doing the whole dual live stream thing because it kind of mimics the whole situation of Six Flags and Cedar Fair coming together. Also, this is just an idea I've had for a while, doing a dual live stream. I didn't think I'd be doing a live stream until January, when I typically in January on YouTube, I'll do like a yearly recap live stream where I go through every single video I've released. This year is going to be very interesting because I released a lot of smaller videos. But I'll go through like points of the year, tell you where I was at in YouTube, going to parks, and life. I know a big talking point I already know going to have in January is why I didn't upload a lot in October on YouTube. Hopefully you guys saw my message about that, and thank you for being so patient. We're gonna get the Halloween stuff out within November, and yeah. But anyway, back to the big story at hand. Nothing new on the YouTube side, so I'm gonna read some more Instagram comments. All right, Great Adventures Boardwalk. Yes, that needs attention big time. Okay, I do want to talk about this before we move on to the next person. Alex brings up a good point. Imagine Dorney's haunt skills coming to Great Adventures Fright Fest, and we get like a Jersey Devil themed house. First, I want to talk about the Jersey Devil themed house. That would be awesome. I'd love that. I don't know where you'd put it exactly. I mean, I'm sure you could maybe even put it behind Jersey Devil. That would be cool. Dorney's haunt skills coming to Great Adventures Fright Fest. That would be really interesting. Even like, I know I mentioned it on YouTube. Just quickly talk about taking the skills of both Fright Fest and Haunt and either combining them or taking the best aspects of them. I've always thought Haunt is a much better event. Not only are the houses free at Haunt, but I think they do a much better job. So yeah, I definitely think. I'm curious to see how that's going to be. I think it's still going to be park level, but who knows? These events could be really cool. I also think, like, maybe, like, what name would they choose? Would they choose Haunt? Would they choose Fright Fest? What's the more recognizable name? Are they going to stick with it park basis? Like, Cedar Point still uses Halloween weekends for some reason. Winter events. Do you choose the name Winterfest or Holiday in the Park? Do you add them to more parks, less parks? Let's see. Just this week, Battle for Boo Hill. Maverick getting changed to Flash Vertical Velocity. No. Okay, let's see. King the Ka themed house. DC themed houses. DC zombies. DC, I know they do a villain scare maze at Magic Mountain. DC zombies, though. Maybe a scare zone. At Cedar Point. At Cedar Point. That's where it'd go. Alright. Let me take one sip of water, and then we'll move on to our next person, who is... Next person, or people, Gabe and Amanda from G&A Thrills. Alrighty. Alright, you should have access now.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing? Long time no see.
Good. How are you?
Holy
I
crap.
know we talked this morning, but not for very long, so
Yeah,
it's kind of in the chat.
it was a bit brief. Our talks earlier today, but holy crap.
Yeah, I woke up and I immediately knew what was going on, and Gabe was still asleep, and I'm like, Gabe, wake up, Six Flags and Cedar Fair just merged. And he was like, what?
I was like, what merge?
Well-
And she was like,
Well, did you scream it, or did you like tap him on the
you
shoulder?
know that like meme where it's like, babe, wake up, the new whatever just dropped. That's kind of how I said it. And she was just like, I don't care.
I'm going back to sleep.
Go back. Oh,
So-
I'll worry about it later.
Yep.
Yeah, and I woke up and I saw all the memes.
Oh my God,
Like,
there's so many.
Like,
I haven't
my
gone
entire
on
page was just.
I haven't gone on r/rollercoaster jerk yet. Are there good ones on there? I don't know, but on Instagram there's a lot of. Good
I'm
ones.
sure Reddit has some good ones. Gabe would know. Gabe uses Reddit more than I
It could
do.
be.
But
It
I
could
know
be. It varies.
all the influencers posting all the memes, like, you know, Airtime Thrills and
Airtime
it's
Thrills
just-
has a lot.
yeah, they're all.
I swear to God, part of me waking up this morning reading about the news, I was like reading the Airtime Thrills Discord news chat for a solid like 45 minutes.
Yeah,
I didn't say
told my
anything,
mom
but I
about
was
it,
reading.
And she was like, hold on, I'll tell you exactly what she said right now. She said, wow. She just said, wow. And then she said, at least now you only need one season pass, which I guess, I hope
so
it's like
too.
that. I
Um,
hope we.
that'll
we
definitely
really
make
do
life
need one
easier.
pass.
although if you lose that card ever, you're screwed.
Me. I paid separate passes for 2 people, more or less, because, you know, I gotta pay for game 2. I pay for 4 passes every year. So I really am excited that it will be on one, I hope.
What pass? Wait, so you have Six Flags, you have Cedar Fair. What?
Yeah, but I pay for 2 of them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because, me and Gabe usually alternate between the years. But
Imagine they would
actually,
like.
this year we still haven't got our Cedar Fair pass just because.
I know.
Yeah, bro.
I'm
You know-
late to Hershey. I was supposed to get it earlier and I forgot, so now I have to pay more.
Actually, ironically, at 6:02, Cedar Point texted me, "Today's your final chance to get the lowest point of the Cedar Fair passes."
I do gotta point something out.
Is that
I
gold
do
pass?
hope with all this merging with the Cedar Fair and Six Flags that Cedar Fair learns to help organize the Six
Yes.
Flags parts with, example, Fright Fest. You know how crazy this year Great Adventure was with Fright Fest.
Mm-hmm.
There was crazy lines. There were people trying to cut the lines.
Yeah,
There were multiple occasions. I hope with Cedar Fair, what they do is they have they have a program that they do every single year that they get to organize. Oh, how many people are in line for this, and
Well-
what happens if the line's way too long and there's fights? Oh, like we should help this out.
Hold on. When we went to Great Adventure, with my GP friends, my work friends, like The Conjuring had a 3-hour line.
That was the first one I
When we
hit.
went to King's Dominion for the Coaster Crew event, and we did some of the. I didn't do any mazes. Gabe did a few. Gabe did like 2, 3. How many did you do?
I did 3.
Just because we got him for free, but that's besides the point. The Cedar Fair ones, from what I've noticed, was not that like busy. Like the Trick or Treat one, they were in and out in 5 minutes. The Blood on the Bayou was really, really long. I remember it was about an hour and a half. What was the one you did next to the log flume?
It was Grimwoods.
Grimwoods wasn't that long either, I don't think. I mean, usually those things have a line out the entrance, and they didn't. So, I mean, the lines were moving really, really fast. When we did our last rides on Caw for the night, and we passed by Conjuring, everyone was just kind of scattered,
It was more like
in
a
the
4-hour
area.
wait.
And it didn't make sense. Like, everyone was kind of, or was it Saw? No, it was actually Saw. I
It
lied.
was Saw because they had to, what they did for,
I don't pay attention to the haunt mazes, by the way. I don't do that.
They had to extend their hours because in the area of Saw,
which was great for us. We got an
There
extra
was-
30 minutes on El Toro.
There was almost like they were telling us. I think it was what was it? It was one of the operators of Toro. She was like, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna be Casey. We're gonna stay open later."
We love Casey, by
Casey's
the way. We
great.
love Casey. We love
I've met Casey
And-
before. She's amazing.
I know, and she was like, "We're gonna be staying open later because there's crazy amount of lines over at Saw, and we can't be just automatically shutting down the line and just let everyone go."
Yeah, we spoke at a ride operator at Paw, and they said that the Conjuring they shut down Conjuring at like 7 because
That's
it was
crazy.
just such a long line. Like when I tell you, I think I have a video of it. Like there are just people scattered everywhere. Like nobody knows what nobody knows what was fasting, regular. Like nobody knew anything.
I think Conjuring, I remember, so Conjuring was the first house I did for Fright Fest. I remember, well, one, I got there maybe like half hour before the line technically opened. The line like shot out, and like Conjuring at Great Adventure, it's located right between Superman's entrance and Green Lantern.
Right.
The line extended like kind of like diagonally down the midway, completely blocking it off. So there's no one controlling the line there.
Yeah, that's how Saw was.
And then Conjuring just did not have enough queue space. Now I didn't do Saw, so I don't know like how much queue space that had. But from what I heard like the line would extend all the way down to the entrance of the Golden Kingdom.
Yeah, that's at one point we saw people waiting and we're like, what are these, like we just didn't know what they were waiting for, and as we were walking to call, that's when it hit us.
So this is what I'm like trying to say is that I hope, because since the merging of Cedar Fair and Six Flags, I hope that the same thing I was saying before, they get to help organize. They help, like, okay, this park is becoming a mess of a bunch of crowds. And
Well, I definitely think they're gonna organize
especially
like
with the teenagers too. I hope like with the
the
teenagers,
New York City teenagers.
New York City teenagers, like they do the same rules that they got to do for other parks from Cedar Fair. Oh, like you have to have an adult with you, so they don't have that mess. They
Yeah,
don't have
I
that,
hope-
like they don't have that much of a hassle of like, oh, will there be fights? Will there be weapons brought
Yeah,
into the park?
that's what they definitely need to do. They need to pull an Osprey Farm and be like,
I think that
all right, nobody allowed in
I can
after
see that happening.
7 or whatever it is.
Yeah. Also, I think another point, I guess more on a little bit of positive side of things. I don't know how many of the Six Flags parks do this. Maybe it's just Great Adventure. They have the Fright Fest Power Hours. What if they add that to like Dorney or King's Dominion, where they have the Power Hours there?
I personally love Power Hours. I really do. I think Power Hours was the smartest thing Great Adventures come up with.
It's great. I've done it
I
only
really
once
do.
though.
I really do. And I would love to see Power Hours come to other parks. I mean, especially, oh my gosh, Cedar Point Power Hours.
That would
Cedar
be
Point Power
cool.
Hours would hit.
That
so
would
hard.
hit so hard.
I would love to see though, like what Cedar Fair does is that when before like the park opens to the public, is that they have even like an hour
The early entry.
like even like an hour before, because I know they do early entry, but they do early entry like very like last minute. That's what I noticed like a lot. I wish they did it like an hour before,
Well-
and then certain rides would be open like Toro or Nitro
So-
or certain rides instead of all the rides being like, it's like, so it can be a lot more organized that way. Because what Six Flags way, how they're doing it, they was doing a little bit unorganized.
So when I used to stay, my parents was every time we would go to Cedar Point, we'd always stay at Breakers, just because it's just easier.
Yeah.
We always got early entry. We actually got 2-hour early entry because we stayed at the hotel and we have the season pass. And we, I know when we went last year, it wasn't the early entry. They had it. It just wasn't like as much as it was like me and Gabe all went for Twister's closing, and I think like Millie, Vengeance, Maverick,
Gatekeeper.
and Raptor were supposed to be on the list. Literally, only Gatekeeper and Vengeance were open. For the 3 days that we were there, you can't just say like it was just one day. No, for the 3 days that we were there, it was only like Gatekeeper and Millie and Vengeance.
God.
So I mean, I don't know.
Oh, Cam, Hershey Park Power Hours. Yes, please.
Oh my gosh, I would.
Oh, Hershey Park
sick.
Power
I
would
mean,
be amazing.
still, no, because we're part of Coaster Crew, we got the Wildcats Revenge ERT for an hour and a half. That was wild. I would pay my left leg to do that every single day. I mean, Leo.
Sesame Place Power Hours. Let's go.
I would go, Leo. I would go.
I would do that if I knew for a fact Oscars was open.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I've also never been to Sesame Place. So,
I've been there, but one knows like when I was a literal kid, and I don't have the Vapor Trail credit, so.
I don't remember if I've ever been there as a kid. I mean,
I've never been there before, so I have like all those credits would be brand new for me.
I'd have to.
We might have to plan a cola roaster trip to Sesame
Yeah, right.
Place.
Yes.
I'm throwing Knobles in there too because I need Knobles.
They have
Knobles.
I found out they have a Raisin Cane's near Sesame Place.
Me and David, it's a little surprise for everyone who doesn't know, but we're going to Florida.
Woo! I'm not.
No, I know. We
Have
will
fun.
be getting Raisin Cane's.
Have you ever had
We
it?
will be eating that because we love Raisin Cane's in this establishment,
You've had it though.
especially since one opened in New York City.
Oh yeah, that's right. I passed by that when I went to see Book of Mormon, and there was a line out the door.
Because it's so good. It's
No,
so
they
good.
just
It's so good.
last semester they
I-
built one.
So good. So all the cola roasters are.
Are they popping off at Raisin Cane's right now?
No, we love Raisin Cane's. We love. That's gonna be our new chat name.
Okay.
Sorry, Liam. It's no longer gonna be ready to eat.
Right. They built a Cane's last semester, right by me, at college. So
Oh my gosh.
I'm like maybe 3 minutes away from one now, and it's so freaking tempting.
Do it, Sean. That should be your dinner for tomorrow.
Next time I go to Times Square, I'll definitely hit the one there.
You gotta go at like a Wednesday afternoon at like.
Yeah.
It
Less possible.
does get pretty busy. Like throughout certain times of the day, it does get outrageous.
It's ridiculous.
Now is
You
that
could be
Cane's?
waiting almost an hour wait.
Is that Cane's like 24
No,
hours?
I remember you gotta. So they have the kiosks right there. Just a tip for anyone who wants to go in New York City. Don't come here. We don't want you to come here. For anyone who does end up going, go to the people. Do not go to the kiosks because it'll take 30 minutes longer to get your food if you just go to the kiosk.
That's really
Go to a
interesting.
person. You may be antisocial, but you'll get your food in 10 minutes. I promise you that. Anyway, back to Cedar Fair
Yes.
and Six Flags.
We got distracted by
I am very
the Cane's.
excited for the themed areas
That's a
coming
good
to the
point.
parks. I love Plaza del Carnival. I love the Golden Kingdom. I love the little tiny western section they have at Great Adventure. But a jungle expedition at Great Adventure
That would hit.
would hit so hard. Everything would just look so much better.
I think
You
they
know,
need to hit.
like,
I think the Cedar Fair team, like, okay, Great Event. I keep bringing up Great Adventure in the stream just because I live so close, but well, I don't live super close. I live anyway.
I live like an hour away.
Whatever.
You know, nobody needs to know that. My home park is Luna Park. so,
What
you know.
if, like, every Cedar Fair park has like that typical midway? What if you put like a Cedar Fair style midway in the spot of the boardwalk?
I mean,
Like, take out some of
that
those
would-
game
that
booths,
would
put in
definitely
greenery.
work.
With the nebula, okay?
With the nebulas, yes!
No Zamperla, no Zamperla, no Zamperla.
That's what Great Adventure needs.
No, no, we do not. We do not need
No.
any Zamperlas.
Don't do it.
No.
What did Air Race hit, though, at Great Adventure?
What was that? You cut out.
An Air Race.
Dude, that thing goes down like it's nobody's business. Like, that would... It would be the equivalent of, like... I think the Aries at Luna goes down more than, like, Ka goes down. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it... No, Liam. No.
What'd he say?
No. Liam, no.
Oh, no. Get out of here, Liam.
No Mars.
I know one. A Thunderbolt.
No, Thunderbolt had such a bad season. Oh my god.
But you
The last day of
operated it.
Thunderbolt.
You can
Thunderbolt
make it
ran,
better.
Like, an hour.
You can make it better, Amanda.
No. Okay, please.
How about Zamperla Hydraulic?
Oh, God.
Alright, Dave is just talking out of his ass now.
I didn't... So the video from Preservation Con when I go to Coney Island isn't out yet on YouTube. I guess minor spoiler.
I'm very excited for that because I'm the... Get out, no!
You do have a small cameo, Amanda, in it, I think. What am I talking about? I'm talking about my ass. I didn't even edit it yet.
Dave, please.
But in that video, I know for a fact I'm gonna say, I swore off Soaring Eagle.
Well, I think Sword Eagle is down for half that day, too. Sword
Yeah,
Eagle
it
had
was.
such a bad year. Oh, my gosh. And Brooklyn, like, oh, my gosh.
What the
Luna
hell's
had such a
going
bad year, like, ride-wise. Like, it was so bad. The chat is on
What the hell?
drugs right now.
We're
You mentioned
late-
Zoo, and
late at
everybody
night.
goes mental.
They love me saying Zoo.
Oh, my gosh. Anyway,
I think
back to the entire point of the live stream.
to get wild.
No more Zamperla. We
So-
know.
I mean,
Um,
Cedar Fair is really the company working with Zamperla most of the time. I mean,
Yeah.
Six Flags does too. They build the... Oh my god, I just realized. Giant Discovery. That's like the perfect
Everywhere.
mix between the two places.
I could see one built at Dorney, Discovery at Dorney. I
Dorney
could see
would
that.
hit. I mean, they have like Revolution, but Revolution's not that great of a ride. Zamperla Giant Discovery at Dorney would hit hard.
No, it
I
would.
remember last.
Because they have the club.
I do remember.
And the
last time
terrain, you could
I
like
did
put it on
Revolution.
a hill.
I think I was with Cam. And
Cycle was kind of whack.
we never went up. Like we never went to the up section. We always stayed at the bottom, like close to the floor. So every single time it spun, we were just stuck. We were just stuck to the floor. We're like, all right.
Yeah,
hate
I
that.
remember it being a lot better. Hershey's Claw is better.
They're called. I had the same thing happen to that when I rode it this season. I was on the bottom. It's not fun.
At Dorney's or Hershey's?
Hershey's.
Oh.
I was on the bottom,
I
like,
don't know.
just looking up the whole time. Ugh. I really want to. This might sound weird to anyone who's been to Maury's Piers, which I've never been to. I want to ride
Damn.
it.
Hold on, I have to blank it for a minute. Max Air is one of the best rides at Cedar Point.
It was closed when I went. Ugh.
Max
So
Air. was
let
one
me.
of
Oh,
the
American
best.
Dream's claw is cracked. I agree with you. That thing's cool. I love that ride.
American Dreams.
Yeah, that's the one.
Did we do that?
It's a Zamperla one, but it goes to the ceiling right by a
Crank.
fan.
We
I
did
don't
Krang.
remember if we did that.
It's called Krang.
Krang was my first.
Didn't you get sick on that?
I got sick on it.
Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah, that thing it does have a long cycle.
Before.
The one you would hate, I think it's called Chaos. It's at Quasi. That thing goes upside down 14 times.
I would love that.
Maybe more. No, I think it's 17 actually.
See, I also love like
It's
Limit
really
360
small.
and stuff.
Look it up if you haven't before. I think it's called Chaos. Let me look it up. I literally can do it right now.
Someone should know in the comments. Some Thursday should know.
It's been a few years since I've been Quasi. Cam was just there, right? Can he say?
Cam was just there. Like last weekend.
Cam, did you ride it? It better have been open. That's one of the best rides there.
Well, speaking of things that look insane,
Joy rode Wooden Warrior.
me and David and
Frantic!
Dave are
I'm
gonna
sorry.
ride.
I'm so sorry. It's called Frantic.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sorry. Anyway, continue.
No, I was just gonna say, speaking of crazy things, I mean, we're all about to ride Falcon's Fury.
That's been a bucket list drop tower for
You've never done it?
Kind of scared. Me and David might cry.
Have you never done it?
No, when
It
we
was
went in
closed.
January, it
Oh.
was closed.
It was open when I did it, and it's great. You're gonna love it.
Me and David are about to start crying, I think.
Busch Gardens Tampa had a lot of problems for me, but Falcon's Fury was not one of them. That ride was awesome.
Like I'm
Falcon the
genuinely
cat?
scared, like
Let's put Falcon on Falcon's Fury. How's that sound, David?
Liam would love that. Cam, I would love. I see. We're not getting a car down there just because we know the Orlando bus system, so we are not going to Kissimmee. But we will be going to we're going to Orlando. Because we can literally walk there,
Part of
and we
me
know how to take the buses.
wants to go back to Orlando in January just because it was so freaking fun, but I'm not sure if it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, after next week, I don't know what our next plan is, like park-wise. Specifically Florida. I mean,
I have ideas for next year. I mean, we could talk about that in private later.
Yeah.
But
I might go back to American Dream and see if Sandy's is open.
oh my gosh.
let me know. I'd come with you. I need it too.
Yes, Cam! Cam gets to ride Velocicoaster for the first time.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right. Oh my god, that's gonna be awesome. Please, please get that on
I'm
film.
excited for Cam.
Get that on film. His first time riding. They're getting off of Velocicoaster. It's fantastic.
Well, we won't be going down there with it.
All right.
Hidden Journey.
No!
Oh, I also need Timmy's. Do you have that one?
I have
We
Timmy.
have all of them
Damn.
except it. Oh, David said he'll go too.
All right. I guess any last minute things you want to say about Six Flags Cedar Fair merger?
I mean, kind of scared, but I'm kind of excited.
We kind of got off topic, but that's fine with me.
Oh, we always get off topic.
We do always
So
get
I
off
don't join
topic.
these things.
All right. Well, thank you so much for
We
joining the
will
live
text you
stream.
later.
Thanks for joining the live stream.
No,
Thank you.
we'll still be here. I just gotta figure out how to get out of this thing.
Yeah, that seems to be
Do
a
I
common
have to
theme.
leave and then come back?
There
Gabe,
should
you
be
know
a
how to get out of
button.
this thing?
Should be a button on the bottom, I think, to leave.
Hello. Add comment. No, I don't want to add comment.
Oh, is it
No.
this?
No.
Oh,
That was the camera.
I don't know what we're doing. I think I'm just gonna leave and then we'll come back.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. It worked. All right. I do want to remind people that are watching right now that if you do want to join the live stream, just send in a request and you should hopefully get on. We do have a few comments that I do want to address though before our next person. On YouTube, we got a few. So Jen Bacon said, "Hi, I'm both blown away and worried about how the pass system's going to look like. It could go really either way, I think. So, yeah, blown away for sure about the magnitude of parks. I think the total's like 27 parks, 15 water parks, absolutely unreal. I'm sure though that's like counting. I think they like, for example, Great Adventure at the park, Hurricane Harbor, New Jersey. Cedar Point Shores as like the two separate properties, but still insane, crazy. You also like Schlitterbahn too. Everyone forgets about Schlitterbahn, but they're a part of the chain too. Where did I put? Okay, yeah, right there. I will say, if you stick around to the end of the live stream, I am gonna share a bit of detail. I'm gonna be releasing a very special video this Sunday. It's not brief history, but it's something very cool, and I'll share what that is at the end. So that should be fun. But I will say thank you so much to everyone who has and is currently watching on both platforms. There's a lot more people than I expected. A lot more conversation going on than I thought. I thought it would just be me talking the whole time. So thank you so much for all the support. So a few other things on YouTube, and then I do want to address some comments on Instagram as well before we move on. Few things. Spencer G on YouTube. Hey, crazy news. Definitely crazy news. I woke up this morning absolutely shooketh. And then he also said, Not Scary is always packed. That's what I've heard about Not Scary Farm, although I've also heard it's one of the best. So, one of these days I'll get there. Yeah. It looks like a fantastic event, Not Scary Farm. And then Mason Dustin said, Yo, so how you doing? Few things. A few comments I did want to address on Instagram. Sean032971 said, if they did really merge, maybe they can get together and put another theme park back in Houston. That would be nice. What is your opinion on that? So if you don't know what he's referring to, so obviously in the Houston area there used to be Astro World, and then Astro World closed to get money, to get bankruptcy, but turns out they didn't really have to close the park, and that caused a whole situation. You could probably learn more about it just by looking at YouTube videos and stuff like that. But since then, there hasn't been a park in the Houston area, really. There have been, like, some proposals and stuff like that, but nothing's coming to fruition, really, since Astro World closed down. But I'll be honest, I don't think this conglomerate, Six Flags Cedar Fair, would really build another park. I think that would be more like some individual billionaire who wants to build a park in the Houston area. But that would be really cool to see. I'd love to see another park in the Houston area. Okay. I just want the boardwalk to be refreshed. Me too. Every Six Flags park is about to get a 4-ride Zamperla package. Honestly, for some parks, that would be a great thing to have. Great Escape could use a 4-ride Zamperla package. Great Adventure could use one, hell. Magic Mountain could too. Magic Mountain needs a lot of help. I think they could honestly do great from this merger. They were run like crap this year. Okay. Luna Park Double Heart. Thunderball clones across the country. No. Unless they're smoother. Okay. Gotta skip a couple. If you can hear outside, they're doing a party outside my apartment. Yeah. What the hell? Whatever. That thing looked frantic. That thing looked insane. I only rode Wooden Warrior. I don't blame you. So the only time I was at Quasi, you can watch it on... Well, actually, no, I've been to Quasi twice. Twice? Yeah, twice. I went for this event. It was called Two for Connecticut. You can see videos of me going to it on YouTube. Fun fact, that's where I met, actually, Alex Sinfeld, who's celebrating his birthday, so happy birthday to him. But anyway, that's where we met. We met at both Quasi and then Lake Compound. So we got ERT on Wooden Warrior. We had passes. So I really got to explore Quasi. Really nice park. Never went in the water park, but it looks fine. It's a bit small, Quasi. Oh, excuse me. Bit small, but it is a nice park. It's weird driving to it. It's like in the middle It's like in the middle of a suburban town. Yeah. Wooden Warrior is great though. I absolutely love that coaster. It's much better than you'd think it would be. Okay. Yeah, the Goat Drop Tower. I agree. It's up there. I don't know actually. I'd have to like rank drop towers. Knobles is up there. I know. Falcon's Fury is up there. I'm a big Zumanjaro fan. What can I say? Okay. We have a couple more and then we'll move on. Astroworld coming back would be awesome and bring back the Texas Trinity. Yes. Yeah. Quasi is in a neighborhood and is quite the nice park. It is. It's a small park, but you gotta go to Quasi knowing it's a small park. But they do have some good attractions. Obviously, Wooden Warrior, Frantic. If you like going upside down, Frantic is a great ride. I really like this ride called Reverse Time. It's like Cyborg at New England, which you never really hear much about Cyborg anymore. Maybe when I go to, or if and when I go to New England. That's not a hint, by the way. I'm actually trying to figure out when I'd be able to go to that park. Okay. I want to go back to like compounds, but it's expensive. Yes. Fun fact, by the way, if you saw on Instagram, for my YouTube people who don't know, I'll explain this story. So right now I'm doing a senior design. For my college class, I'm a mechanical engineering major, and we're working with Stanley Black and Decker. Stanley Black and Decker, one of their offices is in Connecticut. So last week for 2 days, we drove there and then back. We drove to Connecticut, and we were in the town of New Britain, which is about 20 minutes, maybe 15, away from Lake Compounds. So we were really close. On Instagram, I put literally a map showing like how far we were, and we were not that far. We were there on a Tuesday, Wednesday though, so obviously we couldn't go. Hopefully I'm not causing anyone to yawn on the live stream. But we were there on a Tuesday, Wednesday, so obviously Lake Compounds was closed. But that was the weekend right before we went to Dorney, so it's still during Halloween season. We could have gone to Phantom Fright Nights. Last comment and then we'll talk. You should try to go to Stanley Black and Decker location across from Afterburn. I did see that when I wrote Afterburn. Alright. What time is it? Alright, I think next person is probably going to be last person, just because it's going to be close to 11:30 by the time I'm done. And we've been talking for a while. I gotta give my voice box a bit of a break. So, final person we're gonna be talking with is Mr. Blue Diamond Coasters. He's probably driving right now. This is very smart. Hey there.
I've been waiting in my car for like an hour and a half.
You can finally drive home.
Yeah, and I bet if I had left when I got here, I probably would have made it nearly to home by the time I got. But yeah.
So,
A big month already.
Obviously, we saw each other today, so we kind of have been talking a
by
bit.
the way, off topic for this, but Dylan won.
I saw that, which is awesome. I got
out of the semifinals because my screen was like, the input lag was just terrible.
So
I got Mute City.
So, I guess I'll explain a bit for you guys who don't know what we're talking about. So, this is our friend Dylan.
Your video for a while is just a rotating circle.
This is our friend Dylan, who you've seen in a few videos on my channel before. If you didn't know, he's really big into Mario Kart tournaments. And our college just had a Mario Kart tournament where he got first place. So, congrats to him. He's really good. He easily whooped my ass at that game.
Hey, yo, Liam, what?
What the hell?
Yo, Liam, get out of that bathtub. Your fingers must be all just like.
William, we could talk. We could talk later.
Save it for Snapchat. Save it for Snapchat.
Okay. All right.
So I've been.
Let's hear your
My
thoughts.
thoughts on this whole thing. Or the whole live stream. Like, all right, when's my turn? Let me cook. Alex, if you're still in here, if Boo Blaster gets rethemed back to Scooby-Doo, that would be awesome. I'm just like, wait, you're right.
That was a thought I did not have before this live stream,
If
but
they
it
do
could
that,
happen.
they better, like, completely redo that ride system. That ride system is just not good.
Depends on the park, but yeah, they're very bad. I could see, I mean, they did a renovation. I don't know how much it was to Carowinds version. Carowinds could desperately be rethemed back to Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Here's the part.
yes, they're having some fun out there. They got a fire pit and everything. Anyway, I know you shared some thoughts about the merger to me earlier, but obviously not in a public setting. Or than Instagram, I guess.
Dave's now going live with Gabe, Amanda, and Cam.
What?
Dave and Cam, David just went live. I think they all left to join her live.
I'll join later. But what are your thoughts,
Yeah, so-
Sir Anthony Michael Hall?
But yeah, this merger is definitely very interesting. I remember yesterday when I first heard it, I literally like quoted the internet thread like that's never gonna happen. And a few hours later, it happened. So
It happened.
this is definitely, you know, my entire life I've known them as two separate things, and now that they're together, it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens going forward. I'm cautiously optimistic. Now I know, like, I feel like you are like, it's basically both, like half of the board from one company and half the board from the other are gonna become the new board.
Yes.
CEO of Cedar Fair is gonna be still the CEO, but then like Salim is still gonna be like on the executives. So
Yeah. I do think it's interesting.
I can see this going a few ways. I can see it going where, you know, like you're saying, like it's basically Cedar Fair subtly taking over Six Flags. But I can also see it kind of just being like, we're gonna keep the two chains kind of as their own thing, but they can, you know, share resources, share operations. You know, they might have something that are like, you know, used for both. Yeah, I think it's just we're gonna need like a little while until they finalize this deal out to see what happens.
I'm gonna pull up right now. I think it's on like the main thing. But I thought it was really interesting how like they kind of equally split up the power within both Cedar Fair and Six Flags. So
Yeah.
first thing, and I know
that was like part of the deal.
I know Colin mentioned this. The person out of everyone, the person at the complete top, is who is going to be both, as I'm just reading it off here. Yeah, Salim Basul is going to be the executive chairman of the company's board of directors. So he is going to be really the one like dictating which attractions go where. Which I think is a position that I think he's getting better at. I think this year we definitely saw a much better ride distribution amongst the Six Flags parks. So that could work in his favor. You have Richard Zimmerman, who is the CEO of Cedar Fair. He's going to be the CEO and president of this new company coming together. So you could think about it as like two leaders coming together, maybe. I don't know. And then the two other people, I'm not going to name them because obviously I haven't really heard these people until today. But one is the chief financial officer from Cedar Fair, which is good, and then chief integration officer. Now, I'm not sure what that means. Maybe that's like how you get IP in the parks. Whatever.
Yeah,
But
that's a business major question.
it is still a big it's still a big position within the company, and it's perfectly like split. You have 4 people,
I
2
feel
from
like
each
that was
company.
like part of the deal. It's like we'll merge, but it's got to be like 50-50 merge.
The other thing is them taking the Cedar Fair headquarters, which, thank God. If you don't know, Six Flags' headquarters is in a baseball stadium. And not just any baseball stadium, an abandoned one.
Yeah, the old
The
Rangers.
the old Rangers,
Well, 'cause
which, congrats,
for a
Rangers
while,
fans, you did it.
They were in New York City. Oh yeah, World Series champions. For a while they were in New York City. Then when the bankruptcy happened, they moved back to Texas, like in some just like business park near over Texas. And then they now moved into this new place in Rangers. And I know Cedar Fair's headquarters is in Charlotte. I guess the new one's gonna be in Charlotte. I don't know if the original one was in Sandusky or Charlotte. I want to say it was Sandusky. But, yeah.
Yeah, but I think
also Charlotte with the
much better
creative division
headquarters.
based out of.
Much better headquarters than a baseball field. I remember, I think the Six Flags, before it went back to Texas, I think their headquarters was like in New York City. This is during like the, what is it?
Yeah, I don't know if it got cut out or whatever, but
I forget what the guy's name is. He used to be made fun of a lot on Costa Radio, so maybe you'll know it.
Shapiro,
Yes, Mark Shapiro. Mark Shapiro.
former owner of the Washington football team.
Yep.
But,
Mark
one thing
Shapiro.
I know you guys were kind of briefly talking about earlier, and this is my thing I'm most intrigued about, is with the Cedar Fair Creative Division that they've been starting up.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see how that goes, especially with the Six Flags parks.
Yeah, so I went to like a guest speaking thing back at Carowinds for CoasterCon with the creative division. And yeah, they started a few years ago. They're the guys, pretty much have done, aeronautical landing. They're going to work on the upcoming Iron Menace area at Dorney. They did the upgraded Siesta Village in Knott's. They did the boardwalk at Cedar Point. They pretty much did all of Worlds of Fun recently. And now they just got like 13 new parks or whatever to their portfolio. And a lot of those Six Flags parks, you could do some really interesting things revitalizing those areas of the park. Because that's what Cedar Fair's Creative Vision does. They recently, at least since they started, they're focused mainly on revitalizing areas of their parks.
And that's something really Six Flags doesn't really do as... They don't do it as much, but then they also don't do it as good. So that's the thing.
Most of the rides, they just kind of like, all right, we'll take out another ride, or we'll take out an area, and we'll just slap this ride in. I mean, like, think of a Great Adventure. Like,
the best I can think of is Jersey Devil. But, like, even, like, if you compare that to, I don't know.
Aeronautical Landing.
Yeah, Aeronautical Landing, or what they're most likely going to be doing with Iron Menace at Dorney Park.
Yeah.
That's night and day
Like,
difference.
and I think, they tried to do a thing at Great Adventure with the whole, like, Pine Barrens.
It didn't work
Well,
as
that's not
good
really
as...
a section. That's mainly just, like, a section just for that ride.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also argue that Kingdom Come and Golden Kingdom were kind of the same thing. At least that's what it is now.
Well, I
Maybe
think...
they tried like at the beginning.
I think Pine Barrens is incomplete. They need to put another attraction there.
Yeah. Kind of like how with Golden Kingdom, they started with just Ka, like it was basically the Kingdom Ka land.
Yeah.
But then they added, they had Battle in Jungle Land for a while. They were gonna have Moving Dragons that got moved to the other area of the park, and then they added Zumanjaro.
Great Adventure
Like,
is
they need
not
some-
in a land issue. They can build anything anywhere if they really wanted to. I mean, there's the rumors
Yeah.
that the paintball building is finally going to go, thank God. Which, I mean, you could put an attraction there. You can make that an essential pathway again. I think a big rumor was like that's where the bricks were going to go next season. But like,
yeah, near the original entrance.
how interesting would it be, like, Great Adventure celebrating their 50th anniversary, and then they go back to their original name of just Great
I
Adventure.
was saying that earlier. It's like you can now Well, I guess since they want to keep the Six Flags name, which I agree with that. I agree. Like Six Flags is a much more recognizable name. Please don't just slap the Six Flags over every Cedar Fair park. You don't have to do that.
Here's an interesting situation. So Cedar Fair.
Paramount, that worked a bit better because all I had to do was just put Paramount blank. And most people just called it what it originally was.
Here's an interesting situation that could happen, maybe. Maybe in my dreams, I don't know. Cedar Fair is okay with Dorney Park having Al Fundo. What if they let Great Adventure bring back their original mascot characters?
I mean, you could say that for every Six Flags park. Like, there was never really because every Six Flags park had a mascot before Time Warner bought them.
Hmm.
Got all those like weird mascots from like the 70s.
Who?
Because like the park when they built a lot of the parks, they were trying to be like Disney, but they didn't have a Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
So they kind of made up their own. I was thinking about today. You know why Cedar Fair has peanuts and all that?
Well, they had Berenstain Bears.
Yeah, so that's what they're trying to go for. But the reason why Cedar Fair and even like all the former Paramount parks have Snoopy now, all because of Knott's.
Yeah.
Because Knott's Berry Farm, when they were a family-owned park, they got the rights to the Peanuts characters.
Which is crazy to think
Cedar Fair
about.
bought Knott's, they just kind of accidentally bought the Peanuts characters with it. Like, well, I guess we have the Peanuts rights now.
It's crazy to think that Knott's was the place that got Peanuts, and not like Cedar Fair overall.
Yeah. Although I was thinking about today.
And it also just shows how big Knott's was, even before like Cedar Fair came in.
Yeah. Well, I was also thinking today. So, I mean, if you want to talk like alternate history stuff, here's like a what-if scenario. What if Disney was the one that bought Knott's Berry Farm, like they wanted to? Then Cedar Fair would have never bought Knott's, and Cedar Fair would have never got the rights to the Peanuts characters. And we'd be still to this day going to Berenstein Bears Land.
Is it Berenstein or Berenstain? I'll let you guys decide. It's a big debate.
Or no, maybe when they, do you think maybe if they had bought Paramount, they would, because I think when they bought Paramount Parks, there was like a thing where they said like, if you want, you can buy the rights to keep using like Nickelodeon. Stuff, but they declined.
Yeah,
I bet if they did have Peanuts, they would probably say yes.
I guess I've only really been an enthusiast in the time that the Paramount Parks have only had Peanuts characters. So, like, whenever I go back, like, to see Carowinds, Flying Super Saturator with, like, the Nickelodeon characters, it looks so weird to me. Even, did King's Island have the Ghoster Coaster where it was, like, the inverted set point thing? Like, so strange looking. Even the Scooby-Doo Ghoster Coasters and Scooby-Doo Blasters. And so weird. I'm so used to the Peanuts at Cedar Fair parks, which I know we talked about DC possibly coming to Cedar Fair, but we gotta talk about the opposite too. Peanuts coming to Six Flags.
That'd be interesting. Because it's hard to see right now which of the two is really more popular in the general public right now.
You know, I've heard. I keep hearing like there isn't really like, especially with the kids. I think DC's fine. DC's like in a good state with brand recognition.
They're about to be better state.
Yeah, they will. And I'm sure Six Flags is very happy about that. But you keep hearing these arguments. Oh, Looney Tunes is too old. They're not going to understand that. People say the same thing about Peanuts. Peanuts is too old. Who knows what Charlie Brown and Snoopy and Pepper and Patty are?
I mean, there's still. I mean, I think Peanuts is much like Looney Tunes.
That's a
I feel
hard
like
debate.
Is a much older. I mean, it is older, and they haven't really. I mean, the most recent big thing that Looney Tunes had was Space Jam. And I know they're coming out with a new movie this.
Well, Looney
year.
Tunes keeps having like
But I feel
cartoon
like-
revivals in general.
On the other hand, you have Peanuts, which like every year, everybody watches the Peanuts or Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown, or The Great Pumpkin, or Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Like Peanuts they're both like hugely like pop culture icons. I mean, for a brief while, I know Paramount did use both Hanna-Barbera and Nickelodeon. So could we maybe see, like, at Cedar Point, for example, one if, they have both Planet Snoopy and Camp Snoopy, one of them might become Bugs Bunny Boardwalk, right next to the
Kitty
Boardwalk
Kingdom
section.
too. Although I think Kitty Kingdom's in like a whole separate category. That could be taken
Kitty
out.
Kingdom's kind of its own thing. You can keep that. Or like A Great Adventure. You have the Bugs Bunny National Park, and you have like the Junior Thrill Seekers. Maybe that becomes Planet Snoopy.
Yeah, like turning Junior Thrill Seekers into Planet Snoopy or Camp Snoopy. Camp Snoopy and then the Pine Barrens. Oh.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
That would be a
What is
good...
the thing learned from the Creative Vision thing at Carowinds?
Write that down.
They much prefer Camp Snoopy over Planet Snoopy.
Oh, I think they all do. I think Planet Snoopy was
That's
dumb.
why Kings Island is changing over.
Planet Snoopy was a dumb idea. Just in general. Because what's the theme of Planet Snoopy? Other than just space? Like, how far can space really bring you?
Yeah, I think they said like also just the naming of it. Like when you hear the name Planet Snoopy, you kind of like is it an alien thing? Is it like a space thing? But with Camp Snoopy, you immediately get it's like a camp.
I really liked Carowinds.
You can also it's just like you have then much more opportunities for landscaping stuff with a camp over just like Planet Snoopy. You can slap that in a blacktop area. Camp Snoopy, you gotta have it in woods.
Was it Camp Snoopy or Planet Snoopy at Carowinds? But I think it was Camp.
Camp Snoopy's the Carowinds, yeah.
Yeah, Camp Snoopy at Carowinds I thought was pretty good, actually.
Oh yeah, but I loved. I had to take a picture and send it to my mom. Their playground is called Beagle Scout Acres.
I did go there, by the way.
It's like a Boy Scout thing.
I went there to get angles of Woodstock.
I got the ride.
And views of Intimidator. You could go there and do it.
Oh yeah, that area is right up against the Intimidator's drop.
Yeah. But yeah, I could see a few Camp Snoopies going to some of the Six Flags parks easily. What Whistle Stop Park? You could turn that into a Camp Snoopy. You'd have to add a few trees to the one in America, but you could make it work.
It's just gonna be, and I know we're not gonna be seeing this next year. I doubt we can maybe even see this in 2025 at the earliest. It's gonna be a while until we start seeing. We might, and the thing is, this could go in a completely different direction, and we don't see any crossovers at all. They just kind of want to keep both brands separate. Maybe just kind of an analogy for it. So, Taco Bell and KFC are both owned by the same parent company. It's I think Yum Yum Brands is the name of it, but it's also owned by Pepsi. But both restaurants are still completely separate. You can have instances where they're combos, but a lot of times they're separate or even right next to each other. I know that where I'm from in Dover, there's actually a KFC right next to a Taco Bell. They could end up going like that, where you'll have some similar, you can use the fast lane system's gonna be the same, the season pass system's gonna be the same. A maybe like the internal, like management stuff is going to be similar. But on the outside, the Six Flags parks and the Cedar Fair parks are going to still be distinct.
Mm-hmm. I think that's actually a pretty good.
Maybe like kind of how you have both SeaWorld and Busch Gardens. Well, those are, I think, like those two actually really similar.
I do think that's a good comparison. I do think that's a good comparison, like the Yum brands. However, I am gonna play a devil's advocate with that. So yeah, I think that's a good comparison. The issue is if you look at what like Yum brands, for example, look at what companies they own. They own Taco Bell, KFC, Pizza Hut. There's probably others in there, but those are the big three.
Well, I think Long John Silver's might be in there too.
All right, throw in Long John
They
Silver's.
occasionally see crossovers with them.
Throw in Long John Silver's. The point is, though, each of them, even though they're in the fast food market, they each kind of have their own niche. Seafood, chicken, tacos.
So Cedar Fair or both chains kind of have their own niche too. I mean, both appeal to coaster enthusiasts, but I feel like Cedar Fair, as like an image, has a lot more with families.
Cedar Fair?
Yeah.
Well, I think Six Flags.
Every year they try to be like, oh, we're going to try to appeal more to families. But at the end of the day, Six Flags should really stick with what they're doing, what they've been good with. And that's like appealing to, teenagers or thrill seekers.
Yeah, Six Flags has always, for the most part, always said, we're the thrill park. We're all about the thrills. Go big, go Six Flags. Cedar Fair is just advertising itself as an amusement park, for the most part. The fun and only.
I feel like both of the images are distinct enough.
I mean, there was the only like Cedar Fair move where I remember them like really going after thrill seekers is whether a new coaster's built and they have like a badass commercial for a new coaster. Yeah, or like what you said, Ride On, the Ride Warriors. I remember
the Ride Warriors
back like 10 years ago.
Are you a Ride Warrior?
That's the next brief history. Brief history of the Ride Warriors.
We gotta do the brief history of the You Are Here commercials. Oh my gosh, I remember those.
You Are Here.
Before.
I remember the Fun and Only. I remember the Fun and Only commercials that Cedar Fair did.
The Fun and Only.
Where You Are Here?
Yeah, that was a Six Flags commercial chain. Like You Are Here. That was like.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about now. It was like really flashing the lights.
The kids walking on the street, and then like the coasters burst out of the pavement.
That's the one with the really flashy lights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I think, maybe right around. And I don't know if they coexisted with Mr. Six or not.
No, it wasn't.
But I definitely remember seeing. Maybe it was either right before or right after.
If you look up like a commercial for like Six Flags New Orleans, that was around the time that park existed. They had those ads, and for some reason those ads always.
No, I'm not talking about those. Like those, not for like the early 2000 commercials. These were like
90s.
This was like maybe. No, this was like late 2000s. I remember seeing them on like Cartoon Network and stuff. Like the rental I always think about. It's literally like these group of kids walking down the street. It's like dark. It's like near nighttime. And roller coaster steel just bursts out of the pavement. And like Six Flags all of a sudden just appears. And then like the tagline is like, You Are Here.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I have like all the maps said that too.
Yeah, I have to look that up.
It was like mid to late 2000s.
I know Mr. Six
right
pretty.
Before or right after Mr. Six.
I know Mr. Six pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't really look at that.
Only for the video to briefly explain the history of Mr. Six.
All right. Well, are there any last minute things you want to mention regarding the Six Flags Cedar Fair merger?
I guess I'll say one other thing. I think I'm gonna get sick real soon of these stupid, like Cedar Fair coasters with Joker or Superman on them memes.
Yeah. Okay. I'll bring up this one last point. Do you think any Cedar Fair coasters are gonna be rethemed to match more of a Six Flags IP? You obviously
No.
all the memes are out there, but do you think at least one coaster is gonna get rethemed to a Six Flags DC property or a Speedy Gonzales Kitty coaster? Like for Zach Zoomer becoming like I don't know, Little Devil, which would not make sense at Michigan's Adventure at all, but something like that.
Personally, I think no. I just can't really see it, but again, this whole thing is kind of changing, so
Yeah.
we'll have to see. Personally, I would much rather prefer expanding parks if you want to add like a DC area.
It's like how Kings
I would
Island.
prefer expanding it and retheming it.
It's like how Kings Island. Remember they added the Paramount Action Zone. I remember their whole thing when Paramount took over. Is like, oh, we're keeping the Kings Island you love. We're just adding Paramount stuff to it.
Or what I'm thinking,
And that's
what
what
I
they
was
did.
thinking, I mean, speaking of Six Flags, when they bought Jazzland. When
Yeah,
they bought Jazzland, I think
well, they did
added
retheme
the
stuff.
Joker, and they put that kind of like in the middle. But then they added, like the year before they closed, they added the DC area, which was just a little like, because the whole park was just a giant circle, and they just kind of added on the edge of the circle the DC area where they added a few flat rides and they added Batman.
I feel like they've rethemed at least one thing at Jazzland though. That's a good.
Maybe like a few things.
That's a good question. I'm actually not sure the answer, whether they did retheme something or not. But I don't know. That is something to think about. All right. Well, I do want to end the live stream with something interesting to anyone who's still here on both YouTube and Instagram. I do want to point out someone on YouTube said Cedar Flags in Florida. Maybe. Although I don't know where you'd go.
A, like, competitive area.
I don't know where you'd put a Cedar Flags in Florida. You'd have to build from ground up. I know that's been a rumor forever, like before the whole merger thing. Six Flags building a park in Florida. Never happened.
That's such like an already competitive market.
I agree.
Legoland kind of started out there.
Legoland was built. Epic Universe is being built.
Like Legoland is tailored for a very specific market.
And also, Legoland was really just a retheme of Cyprus.
Yeah.
It was not ground up.
Six Flags wanted to build a park in Florida. Like they would try. They probably would want to appeal to a wide audience, but you have the most visited theme park in the entire world in the state. Not to mention, like, the rest of the top 10 is all there, too.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be very difficult. I don't see it happening. I could see Houston. I could easily see maybe that.
Yeah.
Atlanta's
Who
still
knows?
sitting there. You gotta do something with
You
it.
gotta...
Although,
Man, what a waste Astro World closing was.
yeah, I mean, I also mentioned in our chat earlier about, like, people thinking, like, oh, there's not, like, a whole lot of this kind of, like, kills competition. But we're now about to get a brand new player in the regional park game, and that's Universal. Because they're now getting 2 regional parks. They're getting the one in Texas, and they're getting the HHN attraction in Las Vegas. And if those do well, they would probably want to expand into other areas.
I think the HHN one's very specific, but definitely the kid-focused one is something to look out for.
Parks, basically.
Like, what if they... Yeah. To what you were saying, what if they built a Cedar Fair Six Flags park that's... You have different lands for Peanuts, Snoopy's, and DC. Like all your IPs.
Just an IP part.
Yeah, just an IP park. That would fit well in Florida.
Ooh. Okay, now you're cooking. Now we're cooking.
We're armchair imagineering right now. Okay.
You know
Mark
what?
that down.
Maybe this will finally, maybe it would be kind of funny. All right. This would actually be hilarious if they end up building a park in Florida that's Looney Tunes and DC, because Universal was going to do that. They were this close to building Toon Studios, which would have been Warner Brothers properties, but then Warner Brothers backed out of the deal, so they went with Isles of Adventure instead.
And they did Marvel and screwed over Disney World.
Yeah, they did. Instead of doing the DC and Looney Tunes, they did Marvel and Dr. Seuss. So it kind of be ironic if then TikTok is like, guess what? We're going to do it anyway. And we're going to throw in Peanuts, which isn't there a Peanuts land at Universal Japan? In their kids area, along with like Hello Kitty and Sesame Street?
I'm not sure that.
Universal Japan is weird. People will wait 10 hours flying dinosaur.
Alright, well, I guess I'll showcase the last thing with you on here, why not? And then we'll probably end the live stream since we've been going.
We're down to. Who's all slow here?
We've been going for more than 2 hours.
Matt is still here. Hey, Matt.
Ah, how you doing, Matt? But anyway, I'll showcase what is going to be released on Sunday. I'll share some details. But anyway, the main thing is, last year, if you guys remember, on YouTube, I released a Thanksgiving video that involved participation from everybody. And we're going to be doing that again. But we're going to be incorporating Instagram as well. So if you guys saw on Instagram for a while, for the past few months, I know something that's been on my mind, something I've promised to you guys, is that once I hit 1,000 on Instagram, which I've been that for a while now, I do a giveaway. So we're going to combine the two things. So Thanksgiving video. I only rejoined a few minutes ago. But anyway, we're going to combine both the Thanksgiving video with the giveaway. And basically, it'll involve some form of submission video thingamajig. I'm still working out the details of it, but it should be all worked out for Sunday. And next to me, I have the stuff that I'm going to be giving away. So I thought I'd showcase this now.
Just like when Coaster Radio used to do like random giveaways back in the day. They're like, all right, we're giving away a King's Dominion, what is it, the Tomb Raider Firefall pack.
I do have some weird stuff in here. I do have some weird stuff in here. Some of the stuff I will say is some of the things you have. But anyway, I guess like Coaster Radio. Here's the mail. Okay, so basically,
I haven't gotten to that era of Coaster Radio yet.
Again, I'll figure out the whole thing with the submissions later, but I'll fine tune that. But it's gonna involve submitting a video. And then the winner is gonna get everything that's in this bag right here, including the bag itself. So I'm gonna go through everything in here that I have.
Your video for me is just this rotating circle, so I can't see the bag.
Well, I'll describe it, and hopefully everyone on YouTube.
Here, I'll drive over to your house. I'm still sitting here in the courtyard.
Everyone on YouTube can see it as well. So the first thing is, again, like I said, the bag itself. This is what I got from Preservation Con. It's the Coney Island tote bag. It has a picture of Dino's Wonder Wheel on it. So there you go, front, back. On the side, it says Dino's Wonder Wheel. Right there. Alright. And then, so like I said, you get the bag itself. But then there's a bunch of stuff within the bag. So, again, continuing stuff that got from Preservation Con is a bottle that, it's actually a Luna Park bottle. that they gave to us.
When did we get that at Preservation Con?
What?
When did we get that at Con?
Oh, did I? Maybe it was given at Luna Park Fest, and I just threw it in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
wasn't
get.
in my bag, at least.
Maybe there are some stuff in here that's separate. So, anyway, there's this bottle from Luna Park on the side. It has a handle here so you can grip it. You could obviously drink out of it, but on the side there's also a spritzer, so you can squeeze that and it'll be a mister so you can bring this to parks and cool yourself off. So that's something that's really cool. Never been used, so it'll be all good, all sanitary. Okay, going back to more stuff from Coney Island. There's a lot of Coney Island stuff here, but that's okay. It's not all that, though. So, we got a Dino's Wonder Wheel cup right there.
It's sitting on my, in my room. It's right next to my Connect Ferris
Here's
wheel,
a view
so
of the
it's
cup
perfect.
on YouTube. So, a few things. It says Colossal Soaring Wonder Wheel, and then it has a few stats on here. The weight, 400,000 pounds. Capacity of 144 people. Height of 150 feet and over 30 million riders as of the making of this cup. And then you got a picture of the actual Wonder Wheel on the side. So there you go. You get 2 cups for the price of 1. Which Price is sending in a video for the contest. A couple more things from Wonder Wheel. The reason I'm giving a lot of stuff away from Wonder Wheel is, one, because they're really nice. They gave us a lot of stuff when we were at Preservation Con.
Thanks, Dino.
Thank you, Dino. You're a cool dude. And then also, a lot of the stuff was also given when I went to Luna Park Fest. So why have multiple things when I could give it away? So, a few other things. So this is a pin of the Wonder Wheel. I'm going to try and get it in the light. It's a little hard. Alright, anyway, it's a picture of the Wonder Wheel, and on top it says 100 years, Dino's Wonder Wheel, since 1920. As well as Dino's Wonder Wheel magnet. You can stick it to your fridge.
I think I got that in my fridge now.
There's your magnet. And a 100 years Dino's Wonder Wheel patch. So if you're a big fan of patches, you can stick it onto stuff. Alright. So a few other things. So if you're a big map collector, I threw in a few maps in there. From travels. I know there's a few. I'm a map collector myself, so when I go to parks, I grab a bunch of maps. So
I still haven't finished my wall at my new room.
So, first one, this isn't really a map, but more of a guide. This is from when I went to Orlando in January. We got Epcot 2023 Festival of the Arts pamphlet.
I got that one too.
So there you go. You can flip through and see all the foods and stuff that were given at that event, which is awesome, by the way. So for map collectors out there, I got 3 maps from the 3 Disney parks that I went to. So Epcot, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom. So there you go. Those are your 3 Disney maps. All in English.
Hollywood Studios erasure.
I do not have Hollywood Studios only because I went for Disney After Hours and did not grab a map. I was only given the
You go
pamphlet.
to guest services and ask for all 4.
Rip.
That's what I do. I go to, like, when I went to Epcot Studios, I just went to the guest services studios and asked for all 4, and they gave me them.
But
They
hopefully
have all them.
I can also make it up with a Universal map. So this is the English 2-park guide map for Universal Orlando Resort. There you go.
I always need to get 2 of them because when I hang them up my wall, I want both Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, but both maps are on the same thing on different sides.
I know I'm trying to get this in for both live streams, but basically on one side's Islands of Adventure, and then you flip it over this way, and then there's Universal Studios. And obviously, I'm a big map collector myself. I hope you guys are as well. I'm kind of sad that maps are disappearing at parks, so I try and grab them whenever I can, and I love grabbing a lot of them. So there you go. There's your map. And then I have 2 more things. And these are actually really cool. They're both buttons, but I guess they're kind of rare. One of them's rare at least. So, first one I actually got a few days ago.
Yep.
And it's the Iron Menace button.
Oh, that one, yeah.
So, gonna be giving that away. Here's a view of that button. Hopefully you can see it on the screen right there. Let me go into
I thought you were gonna say the Hollow Thriller button.
Iron Menace. And then the last button, definitely the rarest one, and the last thing for this giveaway. Again, it's my first ever giveaway, so threw in a few things and I hope you like it, but this is definitely the rarest thing. They're not making any more of these. And that is the Cedar Point 150th button. So on it, yeah, obviously Cedar Point 150 years. I got this button when I went to Cedar Point in 2021. And on it says on the bottom 1870 to 2020. Obviously I have to throw this in because of the whole merger that's happening. But on the bottom right here, there's this white space. On top there's some text. It says, "I've been visiting Cedar Point since." And you can write what year you went to Cedar Point for the first time on it. So here you go on Instagram. You can see a closer look of the button. Here on YouTube. There you go. So that's definitely the rarest thing within the giveaway, I'd say. Maybe the cup is too. I'm not entirely sure. But all those goodies...
for the cup and he'll give it to you.
All those goodies will go to the winner of this contest that, once again, is going to be associated with the Thanksgiving video. So I really liked doing the Thanksgiving video last year. It's going to be a little different, so it won't be the same thing, but it is going to involve video submission once again. And yeah, the winner is going to get all those cool prizes as a thank you for 1,000 followers on Instagram. So, with that being said, I think it's time I end the live stream. We've been going for almost 2.5 hours now. You could have put on Avengers Infinity War and be done with the movie.
But could you watch
now.
Killers of the Flower Moon?
Killers of the Flower Moon, I'd be in the middle of it right now. But anyway...
I thought one of your giveaway items was going to be a Fiesta Texas Flash Pass.
Ooh. Unfortunately, no. I can't do that. Because you have, a month and a half to visit.
I can go. I'll go back.
I'll throw it in there if you guys want me to.
Credits that I missed.
I'll throw it in there, maybe. That's what I just thought of now.
Up in my, on, my board next to my desk. Maybe if I ever go back to Fiesta, I can find Jeffrey Bieber and trade them in for something.
That's the list of the prizes that I have now. If I decide to throw in maybe 1 or 2 more things and have it ready by the video, I'll do that. But definitely, I think
you're still unbuilt CGA nanos. How about them?
They're right there. Yeah. But anyway, I do think out of everything in the collection, the cup and the Cedar Point 150 button are by far the rarest things.
Yeah.
So
those are the only ones I don't have, so yeah, I'll go for them. Although, I could use extra maps.
Yeah, why not? Anyway,
Because I like to have a clean one and then one I can put up on my wall and put tack on it.
alright. But with that being said, I'm going to end the live stream on both sides. So, thank you so much to everyone who was a part of this live stream for a little bit or even stayed to watch the whole thing. To everyone on Instagram who participated and called in, thank you so much. And again, I hope it ended up being good on the YouTube side. I'll see once everything's done. And I definitely want to do more dual live streams. I think it's a great approach. That way I can talk to both of you guys at the same time. So a few things coming up, like I mentioned before. This Sunday I'm going to have a video explaining the rules of the contest and Thanksgiving video, along with the prizes, definitively. And also details on how to join. I'm also currently working right now on getting all the Halloween stuff out of the way. My goal is to get it out within the month of November, and I think I'll be able to do that, hopefully. Maybe all in time for before the Thanksgiving video. That would be really great. And again, my YouTube people watching, thanks for being very patient with me. October was a busy month with school, as well as just going through a lot of stuff with my car and work and stuff like that. Not going to go into detail about that here. But to people on Instagram, also going to be focusing more on posting there. I know today I did my first ever dual post for breaking news in the amusement park industry, and it seemed to turn out really well on Instagram, so I think that's going to happen again where I do both YouTube Shorts and Instagram for that series at the same time. Again, seemed to work out. Today was a really big story, so I knew I had to get one out there for today. And then also going to stick with doing posts and reels and stuff like that. Yes, and then if you're on the opposite platform, so be sure to follow the other. So if you're watching right now on Instagram, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube account. I'll have videos there. If you're on YouTube, be sure to follow me on Instagram at East Coaster Fan. And then for both of you guys on each of the accounts, be sure to also follow Threads. It's also East Coaster Fan, and there I do some like funny quips as well as more pictures of myself at parks. On Instagram, I'll typically do just typical roller coasters and like not me in the videos. I guess breaking news in the amusement park industry is the one exception now, but most of the time Threads is going to be where I'm a little bit more quippy. But yeah.
Should I join Threads? Do you think I should join Threads?
I'm going to leave that up to you. I joined Threads because I don't have a Twitter. So I have no experience.
I still do. I'm going to be riding that train until it eventually crashes.
Alright.
I refuse to call it anything but Twitter. I'm not calling whatever he's calling it now.
It's hard for me to switch